to be able to talk to customers with confidence. That is one of the coolest skills that they're learning. You know, you might get a kid who's introverted or nervous or worried or like shying away. First time they make a sale and someone walks up and gives them money for what they made. Those kids are confidence beyond belief.
Smart money parenting.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Smart Money Parenting Show. I'm Chad Willardson. We got Scott Donnell here. What's up, Scott?
What's up, buddy? I'm doing good today.
Here we
How
go.
are you?
Here we go. I'm doing great. So today we're going to be talking about why your kids should think like, learn like, and act like entrepreneurs. Okay, so we're not suggesting that every single kid has to be an entrepreneur to be successful.
Right.
We know that less than 5% of people are ever going to be entrepreneurs, and most of the businesses fail within the first 5 years. We know that. But today we want to talk about some of the principles and concepts that you can teach your kids about becoming entrepreneurs while they are kids, while they're in your home. And we've got one of the greatest teachers of kid entrepreneurs in the country, my man, Scott Donnell, right here, because he's actually taught tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of kids across the United States about how to become entrepreneurs. And they've actually done it, which is really cool. This is what he was doing when we first connected and talked even about Gravy Stack and eventually this show together. So I'm really excited for everyone to hear this story and to hear how he teaches parents and kids to become entrepreneurs. So Scott, you got to share some wisdom with us, please.
Yeah. So, this is important. Kids need to learn the core principles of value creation, and how to find a need and fill a need. These are the best value creator skills you can teach a kid, even if they don't become an entrepreneur running their own business later on. In fact, most won't, but the skills are critical. Whether you're working for yourself or you're working for somebody else, being able to think like the customer, being able to find a need and fill that need in your community, starting in your home, and then going into your neighborhood, going to your community, you find ways to solve problems. That's all we do as entrepreneurs. We solve problems for a profit. It's as simple as that. And so what I've done, we launched these children's business fairs. You can go to childrensbusinessfair.com and you can basically launch your own business fair in your neighborhood, set up some tables and tents, and you get your own web page right there for free. Bring in all the local kids to bring in a business, sell brownies and cookies and paper airplanes and soap and slime, and doesn't matter. Like, the kids come in and then the community members come in. You don't even have to bring them in. The kids invite 20 people, each of them. So that's the customers. It's the easiest thing in the world. And now we have, thousands of these fairs going on every year around the world. We launched the Arizona Children's Business Fair about 10 years ago. We just celebrated 10 years. And I get to do kind of an intro, but we call it the pitch night. Okay. And these
How many kids, Scott, pause. How many kids do you think have actually gone through this experience with you and with your companies?
50,000. I mean, we did it
Awesome.
at Apex we've taught these core principles to over 6 million kids actually nationwide in 2011. But the business fairs themselves, 50,000 kids at least have gone through.
That's incredible. Think about the impact, by the way, the impact that those kids will have on their kids and their friends. Like, it's massive what you've done. Yeah.
And it's critical. I mean, I'll say this again, even if they don't become entrepreneurs, thinking like one makes you successful in every area of your life. Okay. And so when you think about, and by the way, I get emails from these people, like parents, that these kids did this 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They're in college now. They have a, career that's really successful in their early 20s already. And they're saying it was because of the business fairs. It was because of these core principles. They're like, my daughter's 19 years old. She's a freshman in Dallas at her school, and she's paying her entire way through school doing the stuff she learned at the business fair. Like,
wow.
She doesn't need any financial aid. It's unbelievable. So I get these emails literally every week. We're getting random things and comments and texts from parents thanking us. But here's what we do. So we call it the pitch night. And I'm just going to talk to you like you're 7 years old. All right.
Okay. So I'm the kid. I'm not the parent, right? You're talking to the kids. Okay.
Yep. And my world-class skill is making complex things simple. Okay.
Let's hear it.
So there's 3 steps to having a great business and thinking like an entrepreneur for this business fair. The first step is understanding the economy. Little Chad. The second step is understanding profit. And we're going to talk about that. And the third step is your pitch. Okay. So the economy, what's your profits going to be? So we learn cost and price and profit and your pitch. That's it. Like that. It's that simple. So Chad, the economy you hear about on the news, you hear about it on, all
That's a
over
big
the
word.
world.
I'm a 7-year-old. That's a
That's
big
right.
word. I don't.
And what I say is, hey, Chad, throw it out the window. You don't have to worry about all these complex old people talking about the world and GDP and all these crazy things going on. This is what the economy is. You find a need around you, and then you find a way to fill it, or you solve a simple problem that other people need or want. That is all it is. And if you do that, and I serve something to you and that helps you, and you pay me for it, you benefit because you get what I made to help you. I benefit because I get the money that you pay for the value that I created for you. That's a transaction. And so our transaction, I actually profit from it, and you profit from it because it was worth more to you than what you paid me. And then that is what businesses do. And so if I help you, Chad, and you go help Sarah with something she needs, maybe she needs soap, and then she pays you for that. And then maybe she needs groceries. And then, Timmy, you make a sandwich for her because she needs it. That's all it is. You're solving problems and you're filling needs for other people.
Okay,
And
so
if you do that,
little Chad has a question.
Yeah.
How do I come up with my business idea though? I don't know what to sell. Like I don't know what to sell. So what am I supposed to make? I don't want to just make cookies and lemonade. So what do? I don't know where to start.
you have to have detective eyes. So when you go around your community, or you ask your parents or your aunts and uncles or your friends, what do they want? What do they like to buy? What's an issue that they're dealing with? What's something that you could do with your hands to create value for them? And you got to think about what you like too. What's your passions? Do you like art? Do you like poetry? Do you like writing? Do you like sculpting? Do you like building? Do you like cooking? Think about some of the things you are really passionate about, and then think about something you could make or create that other people want or need. And if you do that for everybody else and everyone does that for everyone else, that's called the economy. That's it. It's simple as that. But here's the deal. You have to make something and create something valuable. It has to be something that other people want. Do you want a booger sandwich? No, nobody wants a booger sandwich. That I would not advise creating a booger sandwich business for the business fair.
Maybe that should be the title of today's podcast. Nobody wants a booger sandwich.
Okay, there you go. But that's they all get it. They're like, oh, it has to be something that other people want or need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so then they start getting creative. They're talking to mom and dad, they're talking to their aunts and uncles, and they all come with this really cool idea of what they want to do. And then we hone those in at the pitch. And so then the kids, we basically say, all right, so that's the idea. You come up with a business idea, and it's like, I'm making walking sticks. I'm making one girl, my favorite one, a girl sat on a stool and gave advice. She was 9.
That's awesome.
She gave advice to people's questions for $1. And she made $300. It was
Wow.
unbelievable. The average kid actually makes about $200 to $300 profit from these events. And they learn, when you make money, you learn. That is the real skill of life.
Yeah, when you're dealing with customers, when you're dealing with them, you learn a lot.
You learn customer service, you learn listening, you learn presentation and public speaking and negotiation and marketing and everything. That's why we want you to think like an entrepreneur. You don't have to become one, but you have to think like one, because it will make you better in every area of your job or your family or your friendships. Like, finding ways to solve problems is one of the best ways to live. It creates so much value for you and everybody around you. So Chad, that's basically what the economy is. So now that we have an idea of what we want to do, we have to make sure that it's profitable, because if you don't have profit, you can't stay in business. In fact, profit's not a bad word. Profit's a good word. Profit is the lifeblood of your business. If you're not making profit, you can't come back next year. You can't grow. You can't provide for employees or make better things for your customers next time.
So profit is like
the
water and the sunlight for the plant.
That's right. That's right. And so what is profit? We're like, okay, everybody say, what is profit? What is profit? So you basically, what's the price you're going to make people pay or ask people to pay? And then what's the cost it takes you to make that one thing? not everything, but that one thing. And when you take the sales price minus your cost, you get your profit. That's a simple thing. And so, by the way, with my kids, when we go to the store, I'll talk to my 6-year-old about this. And I say, we just bought this cheeseburger and it was $8. Let's do the math. Like, what do you think it costs them to like get these ingredients to make this burger and pay the person to put the burger together for us? We do all the math, the lettuce and the tomatoes and the burger and the buns, and we added it up to about $3. We're like, so they charged us $9, we paid $3. We happily paid $9 we paid $9, not $3. It cost them $3. They made $6 of profit, and we're eating a burger that we really, really like for $9. And then Reagan goes, we should just make this at home for $3. And I'm like, there you go. Great learning. But that is what business is. We went out, we enjoyed the experience, we paid them for the price they asked because we wanted to get the burger. That is what profit is. And so then every single kid in the room, they go around and they help each other find out what the exact cost is to make one brownie, to make one iPhone charger out of their printer, to make one bead keychain that they're selling, and then they figure out what they want to charge and the profit they want to make from it. But I tell them, hold on, you can't just charge anything. My favorite part of the whole pitch night is this part. I bring up a kid. Let's say that kid's selling jelly. They make homemade jelly, right? And I go, all right, raise your hand. And there's all these parents, hundreds of people. Raise your hand if you want Sarah's jelly. All these hands go up. And Sarah's face just like explode. Like she's just like on cloud 9. Because she's got jelly that she made with her hands that hundreds of people want. Do you know the feeling of that? If you're listening to this podcast and this show and you don't know the feeling of that, I urge you to get that feeling. There is no greater feeling than creating something valuable that other people want and need. That is the antidote to so much of the issues in our society. The feeling of being valuable and of service to other people, it's the antidote for self-doubt and anxiety, entitlement, arrogance, laziness, victimhood. Like it's the antidote for all that stuff. And it gets kids out of any sort of laziness because they know that they're being valuable to others. So Sarah's face just lit up, right? I'm like, okay, Sarah, how much does it cost you to make that jar of jelly? She's like, we did the math. She's like 6. We did the math, $2. Okay. What do you think you want to like charge? She's like, $2.50. And I was like, okay, well, you might run out of jelly real quick. And so what I do is I go, okay, audience, who here would pay $2.50 for this jelly? Everybody's hands goes up. Okay. And I go, Sarah, did you make enough jelly for 200 people? And she's like, no. Then I go, Sarah, watch this. Who here would pay $4 for jelly? Some of the hands go down. Who would pay $5 for this jelly? Some more hands go down. Who here would pay $6 for the jelly? Half the hands go down, right? And I said, okay, Sarah, you could sell 100 jars of jelly for $6 and make $600 at this fair. Or you could try to sell them for $250 and only make a couple $100 because you're going to run out of jelly. I just taught the kids price testing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you're asking the customer, you're listening to the customer, what would you pay for this? So then their homework is before the big fair is like, go ask 10 people. Go ask your neighbors and your friends and your aunts and uncles. Be honest. Don't lie to these kids, right? What would you pay for this? Would you pay $3? Would you pay $10? Would you pay $7? And then they can learn the right price, right? So that is how they calculate profit. All right.
Yeah. And think about those lessons they're learning though as kids, as you're teaching them sales skills, entrepreneurship, learning and all that. By the way, when we're at a restaurant and my kid orders a quesadilla or mac and cheese, that's when I'm always like, guys, come on. Like mac and cheese costs like 25 cents for your bowl. And the quesadilla costs even less than that. And we're paying a lot of money to a restaurant. Let's order something that at least you're not going to make by yourself at home. I'd rather them order something that they're not going to make at home, because when they order the mac and cheese and quesadilla, I'm just like, the businessman in me just gets a little uptight. That's all.
You get it. but
Yeah.
you're already at their store, so that you're going to pay what they want.
No, exactly.
So then the third part that we talk about is the pitch. So we've gone through the economy and what they wanted their product's going to be. And then we talk about profit, and then we talk about their pitch. So, okay, Chad, so here's what makes a great pitch. It's pretty simple. You don't have to worry about anything but these three things. A great pitch is three things. What is it? Why it's the best, and how much. That is a great pitch. So you tell them what it is, you tell them your favorite thing about it and what makes it so special and awesome, and then how much. So then we work, Sarah, and all the kids do this. They go pitch the parents, and the parents help them refine it. So Sarah goes, I have Sarah's homemade jelly, and it's $6, and it's the best because it's homemade, it's made with love, there's no extra sugar, and it's all organic, and it's perfect on toast, and it's $6. It's that easy. That's a pitch. So now these kids are prepared to go into the business fair to be able to talk to customers with confidence, right? That is one of the coolest skills that they're learning. You might get a kid who's introverted or nervous or worried or like shying away. First time they make a sale and someone walks up and gives them money for what they made, those kids are confidence beyond belief. They're like
Absolutely.
out in front of their booth. They're like, come check out my Nerf gun, whatever, dart thingy. We've had the craziest businesses you can imagine. Like there's been over 100 kids that made thousands of dollars in 3 hours at these fairs.
Sheesh.
We had a girl, one of my friends, her daughter made the giving plate. It was these little plates that she bought for like $1 at the dollar store, and she embossed on them the giving plate, and then she cooked them to make sure it was solid on there. They were really nice looking plates. And then there was a card on top of it that said, I'm a giving plate. I don't have a home. I go from home to home with cookies and brownies on me. That's it.
That's cool.
And she sold like 400 of these plates for like $5 each.
Wow.
And then her mom posted it on Facebook, and they sold out the rest of the day. She made like $3,000 or something crazy.
Wow. How
And
cool
she
is
was
that?
through the moon, man. Like her confidence level, her excitement level. She's like, what are we doing next? Those are the coolest skills that a kid can learn at a young age. It doesn't matter if you're going to start your own business or not. Thinking like an entrepreneur means finding needs and filling needs. And if we can do that, our economy will be so much stronger. Our citizens, our community will be stronger. Our families will be stronger. We'll become better friends for other people. That is the mindset of the entrepreneur. And we want kids to get that as much as possible.
And people want to support those kids who are making the effort to try to do things on their own to earn money. Like I there's nothing like if someone says, hey, Mr. Willardson, I'm raising money for my baseball team or my football team. Can you give a pledge for $100? That's one thing. But if someone says, hey, I'm doing a service, I'm washing cars, or I'm cleaning up a garage, or I'm hanging Christmas lights to raise money for my team. Oh, I'm opening up the wallet.
Yeah.
Because I see that like entrepreneurial spirit and that effort. And I want to teach this kid that his hard work or her hard work is going to be rewarded. And so that's just such a great opportunity to teach our kids. I've got 5 kids ages 18 down to 7. And the 4 older kids each have their own small business that they're doing today. And they didn't start yesterday. They started a couple years ago. I'll just give one example. My 13-year-old, when he was 11, he loves animals. He's really good with dogs. He just loves dogs. And we don't have a dog. We got 5 kids. We don't have time for a dog. But he noticed that there were a lot of dogs in our neighborhood. He'd see people out walking, and he'd see people that had dogs, and he just literally said, I wish we had a dog. I like spending time with dogs. And I was like, well, couldn't you form a business around that? Like, what do dogs need that you could do? And he's like, well, I love walking dogs. And I said, well, maybe who would want you to walk their dog? And he's like, well, maybe it's someone who's busy, or maybe if both parents are at work all day and the dog's just like home alone, maybe I could be the one who feeds the dog during the day and walks the dog. And I was like, that's a great idea. Like, let's make a flyer. And so we made a digital flyer. We printed it, and he went door to door to all the people who he's already seen that had dogs. And by the way, I didn't go. Like, I was in the car in the street, and he was knocking on the door at 11 years old and saying, hi, my name is Sterling. I'm your neighbor. I love dogs and I started a dog walking business, and I'd love to walk your dog and get to know your dog, get your dog more exercise when you're busy. And here's my flyer if you're interested. And, he started picking up some clients, and he gets to do something he loves to do, which is hang out and walk dogs and just like get exercise. And people are saying, hey, I'm going to reward this kid for being entrepreneurial, for trying to save me time, and I'm going to reward his effort. And I think it's just cool that you can find, like, he's not making stuff. So I don't know about the cost of goods sold. It's really about what is your time worth.
Right.
But I think he's getting $20 per half hour, as an 11-year-old kid. That's $40 an hour as an 11-year-old kid. Whereas, my older teenagers friends are working at the hamburger restaurant for, $14 an hour pre-tax. And he's 11 and he's making $40 an hour, and he's doing something he loves. He's not mopping the floor. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. And those opportunities are everywhere. We have Gravy Stack. We have 140 ideas that you can go to and see that your kids can launch as a kid, right from home, minimal cost, almost none, or a service business. Those are inside the games as well. But the more kids can think entrepreneurial, you nailed it, man. I mean, I could tell you 1,000 of these stories of how a kid's life is transformed the moment they think about solving problems for a profit, finding a need and filling a need. So great things you can do with your kids, way more than just a lemonade stand. And just make sure they don't do booger sandwiches. I think that covers it.
Yeah, that definitely covers it. I mean, teach your kids to be entrepreneurial, like Scott said. These are conversations that a smart money parent would have with their kids. So talk about it, engage us, engage our parent community. We've got a great community at Gravy Stack, and you're welcome to submit questions on the smartmoneyparenting.show.com anytime. But we appreciate you listening, and thanks for following.
All right, guys, take care. We'll talk to you next time.
It takes more than money if you want to succeed. You gotta know what to do with it. You gotta take the lead. You gotta give them confidence. You gotta make them smart. If your kids are gonna thrive, now's the time to start. Smart money parenting.